Hi, I'm Shane with etrailer.Com. Today I'm going to go over the best flat tow options for your 2014 Ford Taurus. Being able to flat tow your vehicle behind your motorhome is going to make it a lot easier when you get to your campsite because you're going to be able to leave your motorhome set up. You're going to have another vehicle to either get you to the store or to go out exploring. Our base plate is going to attach to the chassis of the vehicle to give us a solid attachment point for our tow bar. Our tow bar is going to give us that solid connection point between our base plate on our vehicle and our motorhome. Our safety cables are going to be a secondary safety device in case our tow bar fails. Our braking system is going to allow our vehicle to not only slow but stop itself, so we don't have to rely on the motorhome's brakes to stop and slow both vehicles. Our wiring, that's going to allow our vehicle, while it's being flat towed, to receive light functions from the motorhome, so that not only we're safe, but other motorists are safe because they're going to be able to see what we're doing, whether that's braking, turning, or driving at night. There is one more component that may or may not be needed, depending on the height of the back of your RV, and that's a high-low adapter. Our base plate on our Ford Taurus sits at 14¼ inches. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go out to your motorhome and you're going to measure from the ground to the center of your hitch. If those two numbers are within 3 inches, you're good. If they're not and they're over 3 inches, you're going to need a high-low adapter to make up that difference. The reason you need a high-low adapter, or that angle to be within 3 inches, is because we want our tow bar to be as straight as possible when we're flat towing our vehicle. The Roadmaster CrossBar style base plate is going to be an excellent option to flat tow the Ford Taurus behind a motorhome. It's going to be a steel construction. It's really going to hold up well. We're not going to have to worry about it breaking down over time. It's going to have a black powder coat finish that's really going to help resist any rust or corrosion, so it stays looking nice for a really long time also. It's also going to have removable arms, so you can take the arms out when you're not flat towing the vehicle, and it's going to maintain a nice clean look on the back of the vehicle. This base plate is also going to work with all Roadmaster tow bars and quick disconnects. Now, when comparing this base plate to other options for the Taurus, I think this is going to be the best option. The connection between your tow bar and the base plate itself, I think it's really solid. I think the arms that go inside the base plate give it a really solid foundation for the tow bar. Some of the other ones, they have smaller arms on them, and the tow bars, the way they connect on there, they're just really loose, and I don't think it's a real good connection between the two. I think this is going to be the best option here. Here we're going to have Roadmaster's Falcon all-terrain tow bar. This is a great tow bar, very solid construction, nice powder coat finish on it. We don't have to worry about the powder coat finish chipping. What's great about this tow bar is it's going to be a non-binding tow bar, 6,000 pound towing capacity, so it's going to work great for the Ford Taurus. What I mean by non-binding is we're going to have levers here, so if we park somewhere on unlevel ground, when the arm locks out, you simply pull this lever. Now, when you compare it to some of the other ones out there that may not have these levers, they're going to have a little pin on them, and you have to get a bar or hammer, and you got to hammer that pin down to get that arm to unlock. So this makes it very easy to disconnect from your base plate when the arms are locked out when you're on unlevel ground. Another nice thing about this tow bar is we're going to have channels here, and you can see we have our wiring and our safety cables ran through it. The reason that's good is that keeps your wiring and safety cables up off the ground. We're not going to have to worry about them dragging, and safety cables in your wiring is going to have a coating, so we're not going to have to worry about when we run those through that channel, we're not going to worry about the finish on the tow bar itself getting damaged. This tow bar can also be locked up into place. You're going to notice this little flap here and this large pin. We can store it on the back of the RV. You simply fold the arms in together. When you rotate it up, this is going to lock right inside of here. And you rotate them to the side, you can leave it stored on the back of your RV. You don't have to worry about taking it off and finding somewhere to store it in some storage compartment. This tow bar, your safety cables and your wiring are not going to come with it. If you're looking for a tow bar that has a few more bells and whistles, it's also by Roadmaster. It's a Nighthawk all-terrain. It's going to be black. It's going to have a nice durable finish on it. It's also going to have channels, but the channels are going to be on the bottom. And it's going to have LED lights that run in the arms to help people see when you're flat towing a vehicle at night. Nice thing about the all-terrain is the Nighthawk all-terrain is it's going to come with the safety cables and it's going to come with the wiring. The wiring is going to come pre-installed in it. You're just going to have to slide your safety cables through the channels, where our Falcon all-terrain, that is a separate purchase you're going to have to get, is going to be your wiring and your cables. Now, as far as a braking system on a vehicle is very, very important when it's being flat towed. Number one, it's going to be required in every single state for any vehicle being flat towed behind a motorhome. Number two, it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run, because it's going to allow the vehicle to not only slow but stop itself. We're not relying on the RV to slow and stop down both vehicles. It's also going to have a secondary safety device on it, which is going to be a pin that if for some reason the car comes detached, that pin will be pulled. It'll bring the car to a stop rather than allowing it to bounce down the highway, causing damage to other vehicles or possibly hurting someone else. That being said, there are two types of braking systems. It's going to depend on your RV. If you have an RV with air brakes, I recommend the Air Force One by Demco. And it works directly off the air brakes on the RV itself. If you have an RV with electric brakes or hydraulic brakes, I recommend Demco's Stay and Play Duo. Now, there are some other options out there for braking systems. You have your portable, or like I like to call it, transferable. And what that is it's a large unit that you sit in the floorboard on the driver's side, and each time you do that, they work great, but each time you do it, each time you put it in there to flat tow the vehicle, you have to set it up. So you don't just set it in there and hook it up to your brake pedal. You actually have to hit a setup on it. The machine sets up, hit on the brake pedal and moves around, and then you have to find somewhere to store it afterwards. Again, it's a big unit and they're not very light, where with the Stay and Play Duo or the Air Force One, they're going to be a more permanent installation. The only thing you have to do is flip the on and off switch. Here we have Roadmaster's 7 to 6 pole diode wiring kit. You can see this is a straight cable. This is going to work well for your tow bars with channels in them. If you don't have the channels, you can get the kits that have the coiled cords. You can also get the straight cables by themselves, or you can buy the coiled cords by themselves, and you can buy the diode kit by themselves. Maybe you're just looking to replace your straight cable, or maybe you're just looking to replace your coiled cable. Or maybe you just got a new vehicle and you want to add the diode kit on it, but you already have this setup. You can purchase the diode kit separately and it works well with any of the cords. All those can be found here at etrailer.com. Let's go a little bit more into the cord itself. Again, this is going to be a 6 to 7 pole straight cable. It's going to come without the 6 pole side connected to it. And why they do that is so that you can feed the wire through this channel on the tow bar itself. It's going to have a nice durable coating on it, so as we have it run through this channel on the tow bar, we're not going to have to worry about our cable damaging the finish on the tow bar. Our diode kit is going to be a permanent installation. We're not going to have to worry about taking them off when we're not using them and trying to find somewhere to store them. There are some other options. Bulb and socket is not recommended to use with these taillights. However, you can see here we have magnetic lights. They mount directly on the trunk of the vehicle. Keep in mind, you will have to store these away when you're not using them, and you're going to have a wire that's got to run up to the front and connect to the motorhome. That being said, you can see they work great to allow the lights from the motorhome to transfer back to the back of the vehicle so that everybody can see what you're doing and so that you're safe, whether that's turning, braking, or driving at night. Now, as far as the best option that I prefer myself, I prefer the diode kit. They're unnoticeable. Once they're in, you don't have to mess with them. And they're going to work great. You're not going to have to run the wire up to the front like you do the magnetic lights. You're going to have a 6 pole plug on the front of the vehicle that when you are driving the car normally, it's going to maintain a nice clean look on the front of the vehicle. It's an easy plug between your 7 pole plug on the back of the RV and the 6 pole plug for the front of the car. Diode kit is going to allow you to transfer all those lights from the RV to the back of the vehicle so that we're safe. Again, I'm Shane with etrailer.com. I hope this has been helpful on picking out the best flat tow setup for your Ford Taurus.